Alrighty, welcome into the Gary Ayd Show here on the Cave, cavetalkradio.com, and the Cave Talk Radio app. Great to have you aboard. Gary Ayd with you. A lot of good stuff to get to today. We are jam-packed with guests today. Almost the entire hour one, in fact, will be guests. We'll have Aubrey Rotolo of the Bombers. We're going to have Jason Brady of the Smash, Ava Antolino of the Bombers, and Joe Basile of the Hudson Valley Renegades today. So all of that in hour one, with the exception of Jason, who is hour two. So a lot to get to this hour. As I said, pretty much all interviews this hour, save for the opening rant, which we'll do right now. I feel like a broken record. I've been talking about this all week, but yesterday's win by the Knicks just furthers what I've been saying the last 2 days. Let's be happy, Knicks fans. Let's not be firing coaches. Let's not be pushing people aside. Let's not be trading some of our better players. Like, first of all, the season's not over yet, right? You just won a right to play game 6. So you got to win a road game. And if you do, you have home court for game 7, and anything can happen. So the very guys that we were trying to throw on the unemployment line less than 48 hours ago are still leading the charge for your team. They're still manning the ship, and your team's still in play. Not many people can say that. In fact, no one can say that right now. Other than the 8 teams that are here, right? So it's like, guys, let's be happy about that. Julius Randle had an excellent game. We know Jalen Brunson and his exploits, but he's not the one they're trying to run out of town here. It's Randle and it's Thibodeau. So let's talk about their virtues in this game. What people will say, it's funny. They'll say Thibodeau burns his guys out. He plays his starters too many minutes. He's too demanding. But then those same people, Jalen Brunson played every minute of the game. He's such a trooper. He rose to the occasion. No load management. Well, which one is it? Which one are we really wanting to be the case? Do we want the hard-driving coach who puts his best guys on the court night after night, minute after minute, and tries to get the best out of them? Or do we want load management? Which one do we want? Because we can't be complimenting Jalen Brunson while also chastising Tom Thibodeau for the same thing, which is a short rotation and extended minutes for the best players. So let's make up our minds, Knicks fans. What do we want? Are we happy that Thibodeau allows for Brunson to play a full game, allows for his other guys to play a bunch of minutes, and puts the ball in the best hands of his 3 best players and lets them decide the outcome of the game? Or do we want him to manage their minutes, make sure they're not overexerting themselves, make sure they're not tired, make sure that they get enough guys on the bench, enough minutes. Obi Toppin plays enough minutes to show again and again and again that he's just an average player. What do we want? What is it that we want as Knicks fans? Because right now, we're talking out of 2 sides of our mouth. You can't be exalting Brunson for playing the full game while chastising Thibodeau for playing his guys too many minutes at the same time. Let's pick one. I, for one, am a scriber in the playoffs in particular of the best guys play and play them as many minutes as you need to get the job done, whatever that is. And last night for Brunson, it was 48 minutes, and other guys played extended minutes too. Randall played 36. Quentin Grimes played all 48. RJ Barrett played 38. Only 2 guys on the bench played double-digit minutes, 22 for Hartenstein and 12 for Obi Toppin. Josh Hart played 9 minutes. That's it. So, now you compare that to Miami. Miami went deeper. They had one guy play 43 minutes. That was Butler, of course. Bam played 39. But no one else played many more than about, looks like 28 was third on the team. No, 31 for Kyle Lowry. So Miami played deeper and they lost. So what's it going to be? And here's the other thing. Who is playing those minutes? I don't want Evan Fournier. I don't want Obi Toppin. I don't want McBride that much. I could say, well, why didn't Hart play a little bit more? That's fair. Hartenstein played about the amount of minutes I'd expect or want him to. Same with Toppin. I'm not on the Obi Toppin train here. I'm really not. I don't believe he's all that good. He's a regular NBA player, nothing more. Could he play more minutes? Yeah, okay. He could on a lesser team. If you told me you were going to trade him to Detroit, he'd probably start. Orlando, he'd probably start. He'd start in San Antonio. He could start on a number of teams, but they're bad teams. He might even be a fifth starter on a different team with a different roster composition. But where are you going to play him? You think Randall's a tweener. You think Randall's a guy without a position. Toppin's even worse. He's not a 3. He's not big or he's not strong enough to be an effective 4. He's not a space the floor 4 because he doesn't shoot well enough. What is he? You think Randall's a tweener. At least Randall's got skills. This guy's a tweener with half of Randall's talent. And that's the guy I hear people clamoring more for. I don't need to see more of him. I know what he is. He's an NBA athlete with an NBA in-between body, caught between two positions where he doesn't have the skill, build, or talent for either of them. That's what Obi Toppin is. Why does Hartenstein play? Because he has a defined role that he excels at. He is your quintessential backup big man who crashes the boards, draws screens, draws fouls, sets screens, catches lobs occasionally, can hit an occasional open shot. He plays tough. He plays good defense. That's why he plays. Now, Hart playing only 9 minutes kind of surprised me, but where were you going to get the minutes from last night? Were you going to take him from Brunson? Were you going to take him from Barrett? I guess you could have taken him from Grimes. I thought it was curious. I'd be curious to ask someone who covers the team why Grimes, who just a handful of games ago was more or less out of the rotation, and last night he played every minute. Like, if there was a place to get Josh Hart minutes, that's where you would have gotten it, was with Grimes. I mean, he didn't do a whole lot, except he was frustrating the heck out of Jimmy Butler, who had a pretty bad shooting game. Jimmy Butler only got up 12 shots. He made 5 of them, so he didn't shoot a terrible by percentage, but he didn't get up a lot of shots, and a lot of that was because Grimes was taking his airspace, denying him the ball, and making Butler be making them catch the ball in the position where he was not in the position to take a good shot. And so Grimes deserves credit for that. And I guess Thibodeau was probably, I'm going to answer my own question here. I'm guessing Thibodeau was probably scared that if he took out Grimes, who was doing that all so successfully, that he would suddenly have Butler kind of catch fire and Grimes wouldn't be able to come back in and put out the fire. So rather than take that chance in a game that was pretty much close start to finish, he left Grimes in, and Grimes did what he was there to do. I mean, he barely had the ball. I mean, he barely shot. Grimes took, 8 shots in 48 minutes, right? He scored 8 points, but he was there to bother Butler. And he did it very, very, very well. It's good stuff. Very impressive performance. the other thing I'll say about this for the Knicks is with that defensive Grimes, they might have figured something out here. They might have figured out a way to limit Butler a little bit. Now, it's going to be tough because, of course, they're going back to Miami for game 6. Butler's going to be re-energized. They have a day or so of rest. So it's going to be a different animal altogether. But maybe they figured something out here with a plan of attack, at least, to start game 6. So don't be surprised if Grimes' consecutive minutes played streak continues unabated as we go into game 6. I'd expect it to. We got a lot to get to. Coming up next, we got our first of several Bomber guests. Like I said, a lot of interview guests today. Coming up, we're going to have, who's our first one? Aubrey Rotolo. So she'll be joining us momentarily, followed by Ava Antolino of the Bombers, and then followed that by Joe Vasile of the Hudson Valley Renegades. Hour 2 will be Jason Brady. We'll have the question of the day in hour 2. We'll have the top 5. A lot to get to this hour and a lot to get to in the show. We're just getting rolling. It's the Gary Ayd Show. Coming up next, Aubrey Rotolo from the Bombers here on The Cave. All righty, we're back here on the Gary Ayd Show. Good to have you aboard. And we are joined now by Aubrey Rotolo of the OC Bombers, the 12U squad, and her father, Harry, is with us as well. Hi, Aubrey. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And first of all, thanks for joining us. And I'm curious, when did you first start playing softball? How long have you been playing?
Oh, so I was younger. I played t-ball, and stuff like that. And then I didn't play for a few years and then I came back to it. Um, but I've been playing softball. This is my second season with the Bombers and my third year really playing softball, trying to get good at it.
Very, very good. Now, what made you decide to come back to softball after taking a couple years off?
I really thought that I could be good in the industry and that I could like really work hard at my craft to make it good.
Awesome. Now, what positions do you play for? What positions do you play with the Bombers?
So I'm actually the catcher. And if I'm not catching, I'm normally in center field.
I see. Two very important defensive positions. Which one do you spend more time practicing?
Catching.
Yeah, I would assume so. There's a lot that goes into that, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, it's a complicated position. What do you find the most challenging part of catching?
Definitely trying to not let things get in your head and just stay focused and not losing your head sometimes.
Mhm. What about like managing the pitching and calling a game? Any of that type of stuff?
Yeah, it's hard when like for blocking the balls going by you, especially when you're calling a pitch. It's nerve-wracking sometimes because sometimes she hits her spots and sometimes she doesn't.
Mm, makes sense. What about center field? I mean, those two positions couldn't be more different. Do you almost feel like you're like almost like free when you're playing in center field because you're down in that squatted position so much catching, then all of a sudden center field you got the more territory to cover than anyone. What's that difference like when you go from one to the other?
It's very different, but I like both positions because my arm, I'm very good at throwing because I can throw very far and hard. So I think center field is very good to be in, and it is a lot better situation for, like you said, squatting and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Now, do you have like some type of rotation? Like, do you maybe catch one game and play center the next, or catch two and play center one? Like, do they use you in a particular like uh rotation, or is it just more random?
So it's like if we have a tournament, I would catch the first game, or whatever team is the hardest, I will catch for. Unless it's on elimination round, that day I will catch all the games.
Hmm, I see. Very cool. What's besides practicing your catching, what other area of softball do you find yourself spending the most time practicing for?
Um, Practicing wise, probably pitching.
Oh, you pitch too?
Yeah, but just not as much as catching in
Hmm,
center field.
okay, very good. What's been your favorite place that you've had a chance to play in your, what'd you say, 2 seasons now with the Bombers?
Yeah.
What's been your favorite place you've played?
Um, Probably the Rock.
Hmm, okay, that's cool.
They always have really good competition there.
Got it. And what's been, I guess, your favorite like uh your favorite aspect of the game? Is it catching? Is it hitting? Is it pitching? Like what's your favorite part about softball?
Probably just when like I'm catching and it's like really fun, or hitting when you're like really focused and it feels really good when you work really hard and it finally pays off.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Have you had like a particular hit or a moment that stands in your memory as like one of your favorite moments?
So last game I actually had with the Bombers on travel was Sunday, and that game I just like keep reminding myself, and I'm so proud of myself. That one game I threw two people out at second in a row, and I hit
Whoa.
yeah, and I hit a shot over the fence. It was like a 275-foot field. It was over the fence, right over right over the pitcher's head. So it was like a line drive in the center.
Wow, that's awesome. No, that's really cool. So that was probably like one of your best games ever, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. And where was this? Where were you guys playing?
the Rock.
The Rock. Okay, very cool. I just want to ask your dad a couple of things real quick.
Okay.
Hey, Harry.
Hey, Gary, what's going
Hey,
on?
just a couple of questions for you. Do you have other children in travel organizations as well, baseball, softball, or anything, or is Aubrey here your oldest?
Aubrey's the one and only.
She's the one and only. All right. Well, there you go. So what's it been like for you the last couple of years as she's you and your family as far as the her travel schedule and what that has been like in terms of maybe changing or altering your flow of life? It has to have been quite an experience for you guys too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot. I feel like almost every weekend when it's the season, you have games every weekend between trainings, practices. It's definitely a lot. But when you see the difference, when your kid's growing and seeing how well she's doing, it makes it all worth it.
Absolutely. What's been the biggest area of growth you've seen in Aubrey since she started playing with the Bombers?
I mean, I can say, um, just how fluid she is, like with, catching, hitting. It's more like you can see how athletic she is, and how she can, adjust to her body, right? Because kids, when they're younger, you're trying to, you're growing a couple inches a year and you have to grow into that. And just seeing the change in the athletic ability, hand-eye, all that stuff.
Right. I guess my last thing for you is if you were going to ask if you were going to give advice to a family maybe looking to put a kid into a travel organization for the first time, what would you tell them?
I mean, first off, Ray, I would tell them exactly what's entailed.
Yep.
So they're prepared. But I would definitely recommend it. And it's not just about softball or baseball. It teaches you life lessons, how to work hard, how you have a commitment, all good things in life. You have to work for. So I would totally recommend it. And the Bombers organization have been nothing but good to us. So I don't know, what else to say other than that. They've been good.
That's perfect. All right, very good. Well, let me ask Aubrey one or two more things here real quick.
Sure.
Thank you, Harry. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Hey, Aubrey.
Hi.
Who's your favorite softball player?
It's really hard. I like Jenny Finch. But my favorite is definitely Lauren Burke.
Okay. Why is she your favorite?
Because she tries and pushes herself really hard to be a better person and to be better at softball.
That's awesome. Very good. All right. Well, hey, good luck the rest of this season and have a lot of fun, okay?
Okay.
All righty. Thank you. That's Aubrey Rotolo and her dad, Harry. This is the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave.
Coffee Lovers Middletown is now officially home to the home run of our favorite beverage, Days Coffee. Days patented blend contains approximately 85% less caffeine than other coffees, which makes it better for you, yet unlike decaf coffee, still gives you that great pickup and tastes amazing. Formulated by a retired cancer pathologist, Dr. Grant Lee, Days Coffee is fermented with a patented enzyme that until now required a complex and thus expensive sourcing and production process. With Dr. Lee's formulation, this enzyme's great health benefits can now be brought to your cup quicker, easier, and cheaper than ever before. Here's how you get a hold of this game-changing cup of joe. Go over to radioonlydeals.com and get a $4 gift certificate to Days Coffee for just $2. That's radioonlydeals.com to buy your single-use digital gift certificate for Days Coffee. Radioonlydeals.com. That's radioonlydeals.com. Enjoy the preferred coffee of the Gary Ayd Show. Enjoy Days Coffee.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now. with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave, and we are joined now by our second bomber of the week, Ava Antolino. Hello, Ava. How are you? Hello, Ava. How are you? There we go. It helps to hit the on button. How you doing, Ava?
Good.
Good. All right. So, first of all, congratulations and thanks for joining us. And I'm curious, how long have you been playing softball?
Since I was like 4, so like 7 years.
7 years. Okay, very good. And how long have you been playing with the Bombers?
3 years.
Very, very good. Cool. And what positions do you play?
I play shortstop mostly,
Okay.
or center field.
Do you prefer one or the other?
I prefer shortstop.
Shortstop. Why do you prefer shortstop?
Because I've been playing it the most.
Okay, you're just more comfortable there. That makes sense. During the week, during practice, what do you spend the most time practicing?
Hitting.
Hitting. Are you a left-handed hitter or right-handed hitter?
Right.
Right. Do you throw righty as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your approach to hitting? Are you trying to hit the ball to a certain spot or go with the pitch? Like what do you try to do when you're hitting?
I try to hit it in the gaps.
Okay. Very good. What's been your favorite place that you've played so far while you've been with the Bombers?
Kentucky.
Oh, that's really cool. When did you go there? Was it last year?
Last summer.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome. I guess what's your favorite part about playing softball? Is it hitting? Is it fielding? Is it the actual travel, the practice time? Like what's your favorite part about it?
I like this sport and I like being with my teammates and traveling to different tournaments.
That's cool. Are most of your closest friends also softball players?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Did you meet most of them playing softball or you knew them from elsewhere?
Some of them I met like before softball and some of them I met during softball.
That's pretty cool. What's the what's it like? Do you play besides the Bombers? Do you play like Little League or anything else?
I play Little League.
What's the difference between the two? Obviously the travel, but like in terms of like either the competition or just how it goes, like what's the difference between the two?
Bombers is more competitive and Little League has like slower pitchers and stuff.
Got it. Who's your who do you try to, is there a player that you really like that maybe you try to like emulate or build your game after?
Jenny Finch.
Yeah. She's do you pitch too? Because she was a pitcher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, I wanted to just ask your mom one or two things real quick, if that's okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? So I'm curious. First things first. Do you have other children who play travel, whether softball, baseball, or anything else, or is Ava your oldest or first or only, or what's the situation?
I do. My oldest daughter also plays for the Bombers.
Got it. Okay. I thought I recognized the name, but I don't think I spoke to your oldest yet. So, now, okay. So, what's the if you were gonna give, I guess, advice to a new family who might be putting someone into a travel team for the first time, what would you tell them?
Go for it.
Okay, nice and succinct. I like it. Just do it. Heck with all the
It's a
details.
lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. A lot of time away from home, but you meet so many new families and become friends with so many different people that you probably wouldn't have met otherwise.
Sure.
But it's been fun.
What's been the biggest change or development you've seen in your daughter since she's been associated with the Bombers?
Just her knowledge of softball, her playing level has completely changed.
Do you guys have like a family history of softball? Were they just kind of born into it, or did they both take to it naturally?
Well, I played softball through Little League and high school.
Okay. Got it. And did your husband play like baseball or sports as well?
He did play sports. Baseball was not his sport, but
Yeah, mine either. I was a basketball player. That was the only game I could play. So I guess my last question for you is, if you were going to, I guess, pinpoint one thing about the Bombers, if you were going to summarize the organization with like one phrase or sentence, how would you summarize them to someone who was asking about them?
it's a very close-knit family.
Very good. Yeah, I hear that. This seems to be a common theme, which is awesome to hear. All right, very good. Well, thank you so much. I was gonna ask Ava one more thing here, real quick, before we finish up.
Of course.
Hey, Ava. What's been your favorite softball memory? A play, a game, maybe a road trip. What's been your favorite memory so far?
Hitting a home run
Oh, that's cool.
out of the park.
Out of the park. Wow. When did you do that?
A couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. Tell me about it. What kind of pitch was it? What was the game looking like?
It was like a fastball, and I think it was a tied game.
Wow. Awesome. That's so cool. So you broke the tie then.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. That is a great memory. Enjoy the rest of your season, okay?
Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. And that is Ava. This is the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
All righty, welcome back to the Gary Ayd Show, and we are joined now by Joe Vasile of the Hudson Valley Renegades. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Gary, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I feel more awake than usual when we're chatting now.
Yes, it's not the middle of the morning anymore. The new time slot has us nice and early.
Yeah, no, it's
not
it's
early.
nice.
I mean, yes, no, it's good. I enjoy it too. So how's the team been doing since we last spoke?
It's been a little bit of a rough patch here the last couple
Yeah.
of games. Team is in the midst of its first 3-game losing streak of the season. Lost on Sunday and Tuesday by a couple of pretty lopsided scores. And then yesterday was a really close game. Lost 3-2 against Aberdeen. Just the team's been playing a little shorthanded over the last couple of games, and I think that's finally starting to show a little bit. Ben Rice, who had been off to a really good start up at the plate, got hurt before last Tuesday's game and was put on the injured list last Saturday. So been playing without him for about 2 weeks, and that hurts the lineup. Spencer Jones has been out the last couple of days, just day to day, nothing major. It has hurt the lineup. Tonight, Anthony Garcia is back, and he hasn't played since last Wednesday. So, missing a couple of guys, team playing a little bit shorthanded, and that's hurt a little bit. But overall, a lot of some of the same things we were saying late last week were, just kind of running into some good pitching. And some of the really strong pitching numbers from the start of the season coming back down to earth a little bit, and it's all happening at just a bad time. But again, it's a 3-game losing streak. It's nothing major. These things are going to happen, in the course of the season, and you just hope you can nip them in the bud at 3 or 4 games and not let them become 5, 6, 7 games and get yourself into trouble.
No question about it. And one thing that's coming up that's pretty sweet. You guys have a cupcake festival coming up in a couple of days. Tell me about that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, so we've got the Cupcake Festival at Heritage Financial Park on Mother's Day. It starts at 10 a.m. and it's a completely free event. Like, there's not a ticket that you have to buy to get in. And it's run by another radio station, but there's a contest, a competition that they've been running for the last couple of weeks, and a champion of the best cupcake baker in the Hudson Valley is going to be crowned on Sunday. There's going to be food trucks and some live music. It should be a really fun day. I'm actually, kind of disappointed that I'm going to be on the road and not able to make it there, because it just it should be a really nice kind of Mother's Day type of event at the ballpark. The one caveat I will say about it is, if you've ever been to Heritage Financial Park, the parking lot isn't the most expansive for a large event like this. So there's actually there's free parking at the Newburgh Mall by the Resorts World Casino over there.
Yep.
And then there's a shuttle that'll take you across the bridge over to the ballpark. You can buy a VIP parking pass to park at the stadium. I think it's $20. You can buy that in advance. You can also buy it there. I think it'll be $25 if you buy it just on site. But yeah, if not, just you can park at the mall. There'll be a shuttle going back and forth, and so parking will be free for that as well if you're planning on coming out. I've been told they expect throughout the course of the day. It's like a 6-hour event. Throughout the course of the day, they're expecting anywhere from 10 to 15,000 people to attend. So it should be a really fun event.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I remember the first time I ever came across what I would call artisan or high end or craft cupcakes was actually in Atlantic City of all places. I was probably in my mid 20s or so. And I was just walking up and down the boardwalk, and there was a place that was owned at the time, or at least had his image and likeness of Guy Fieri on it.
Sure.
And so inside this, whatever it was, burger place or whatever, was like a subsection of a little cupcake place. And I was just blown away at like all the different creative ideas. Like they had strawberry shortcake cupcakes, they had s'more cupcakes, like peanut butter this, and there was just like, man, I thought it was cool when I had like strawberry icing on a regular vanilla cupcake. I didn't know what I was missing out on.
Yeah. There was a while when cupcakes first started becoming a big thing, like the high-end cupcakes, where my sister was doing a lot of baking. And so she tested a lot of cupcake recipes out on me. And I didn't mind that at all. Like they were great. She made like a Boston cream cupcake. It was like a Boston cream donut, but in a cupcake form. She made these peanut butter and jelly cupcakes one time that were really good.
That sounds good.
Yeah, so I was really loving when she was doing a lot of baking like that. When she was living at home and I was living at home, at my mom's house, and just being her cupcake tester.
Yeah,
that was a fun time. I have a huge sweet tooth.
That's a good job. I mean, that's good work if you can get it. I'm telling you.
It really is.
Now, you mentioned some of the injuries. Are some of those guys due back soon, or what's the prognosis?
Yeah. So was talking with Ben Rice yesterday. He said he's feeling a lot better, hoping to resume baseball activities soon. Spencer Jones is expected to be back in the lineup tomorrow. Again, he's just kind of day to day with a little nagging thing. So they're being overly cautious, I think, with him, just generally based on the fact that he was the first round pick last year. So like, all right, if there's anything, we're gonna play it extra conservative. But yeah, I talked to him about an hour or so ago, asked him how he was feeling. He says, I'm feeling great. So he I think is kind of itching to get back out there and in the lineup. And Anthony Garcia, as I said, we've been without him for about a week, but he's back in the lineup tonight batting cleanup. So it'll be good to have him and just get some of those guys back to lengthen the lineup a little bit. That's been a little bit stressed over the last week or so. It's just guys not getting as much rest time as they're used to, because whether it's Garcia or Jones, it's minor things. You're not going to put them on the injured list for it, because then you're going to be without the guy for a week, but then it kind of ends up leading to being shorthanded for a little bit. You're not gonna send those guys out to play in that kind of stuff.
Right. Now, you guys in the midst, as you mentioned, of a road trip with Aberdeen, going through Sunday. Monday's a travel day. Looks like you'll be back on Tuesday for a homestand with Brooklyn, which is really always a historical thing. It's always a big deal. That's like probably their chief, at least by local standards, the chief rival. Is the team like extra fired up about that? I know the fan base usually is for the Cyclones. Does the team feel that as well?
Yeah, it's funny. They really do, even at this level. Maybe it's not exactly what it is in the big leagues where it's, the Subway Series and it's this and that. But, for the guys who are returning from last year, they remember Brooklyn as the team that came out of nowhere in the last 3 weeks of the season and passed the Renegades for first place and ended up eliminating them through the playoffs. And I think that, for the guys who were here for that last year, which is still about half the roster, there's a lot that is like, all right, we want to get back at these guys, and we want to kind of get a little revenge on them. And they're not playing so well to start their season this year, but there's a good number of guys in their team that were there towards the end of last year that were part of that team. So there's a lot of that memory. And even for the guys who weren't here, they played against a lot of these Mets players last year in the Florida State League when they were in Tampa, and the Mets guys were in St. Lucie. So there's, even though it's only high A, a lot of familiarity between these two teams, and they're ready to go. I know some of our guys were even talking, like, about how much they're looking forward to playing Brooklyn next week, just because they do enjoy the rivalry and all that kind of goes along with it. And I'll also say Jersey Shore has developed into a nice rivalry over the last couple of years. That the whole Yankees-Phillies thing from a few years back when they were both really good going to the World Series against each other. But I know those two teams also are, we're looking forward to playing Jersey Shore for the first time this year also.
No, that's going to be awesome. No Snooki though. No Snooki for Jersey Shore.
Not until later. Not until later. The night where she's coming to Heritage Financial Park, we are playing Jersey Shore, and that's more of a coincidence than anything else. That was just the night she was free.
That's so wild. Oh, that's good stuff. All right, last thing for you, Joe. I guess with the remainder of this series with Aberdeen, what's the biggest focus of the team? Is it just getting healthy? Is it maybe a pitching? Like where's the team at with its head right now, trying to salvage the second half of this series?
It's going to come down to the hitting. There just has not been enough of that in the first couple games of the series. I mean, last night scored 2 runs on 6 hits, shut out on Tuesday on just 2 hits. So, I mean, first 2 games of the series, 2 runs on 8 hits. And Tuesday they gave up 11 runs also. But, yesterday they gave up 3 runs. And usually with this team this year, that's been enough to win the ball game pretty handily. And it just wasn't the case because the team hasn't hit up to its potential. And whether or not that is a function of just being a little shorthanded and not quite having, and the guys who are out are, guys who were, real catalysts for this offense. And then that puts more pressure on other guys. And, it really changed the dynamic. So I think, yes, getting healthy is a big focus, but also, try to string together some innings that look more like what the team over the first 4+ weeks of the season. There were a couple of those innings last night, the one where they scored both their runs especially, but those have been a little few and far between this week. So I think just kind of getting back to what makes this team good and not allowing yourself to be beat by an Aberdeen pitching staff that has shown up really good in this series, but by and large this year has not been unbelievably good. But one that is better than what the Renegades saw a couple of weeks ago when Aberdeen was up in the Hudson Valley. So tonight they're going up against a guy they hit pretty well the first time they faced him, and so hopefully that can translate into a good night at the plate.
All right. Well, best of luck. You guys, good luck the rest of the series, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, Gary. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Joe. That's Joe Vasile of the Renegades. It's the Gary Ayd Show. Hour 2 around the corner. That's next. The Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave. Alrighty, welcome into hour 2 of the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave, cavetalkradio.com, and the Cave Talk Radio app. Gary Ayd and a rejuvenated Rich Anselmo. I think. There we go. Hour 2, we got Jason Brady of the Bombers. I'm sorry, of the Smash coming up next. Right now, it's time for the top 5. We'll have some basketball this hour as well. How you doing today, Rich?
Good. How you doing, Gary?
I'm doing good. So, what's today's top 5? You sort of teased it yesterday. So, what are we doing?
Well, we covered the main 3.
Mm-hmm.
Today, it's all others.
All others.
Any sport. Golf.
Oh,
hockey.
Jeez.
Curling. I don't care.
Oh man. All right. Well,
Any other sport. I mean, there was a movie made about bobsledding. John Candy's.
yes. I like $1 Million Baby. It's a really good boxing movie.
Very good. Yes.
The Wrestler, obviously about wrestling, was also good. I don't know if you consider wrestling a sport, but for the sake of conversation, I will. I don't know that there's any movie about golf that's all that interesting.
Oh, come on. Caddyshack.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. Yeah, you got a couple there.
I like 2 about your favorite sport. Well, 3 of them really. The whole Mighty Ducks trilogy.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one of the 3, I'd probably pick the number 2 is my favorite.
Second one?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's.
But I really
Well, if
like
you're
all
gonna
3
stay
of
in
them.
that sport, Slapshot is one of the best.
Yeah, that one I never saw. But
Oh, you need to.
But I'm a fan of the Mighty Ducks trilogy. I guess do we count like Roman gladiators as a sport? I guess it was in those days, and they definitely played for keeps.
Yeah, they did. And no load management there.
So I would go gladiator if we're counting Roman gladiators as a sport. I mean, we had American Gladiators was considered a sport. It was on ESPN, so
That's true.
so why not? Now I'm stretching here, but and it's one of my favorite activities, but I've never considered it a sport, but I think the world does. It's certainly been on ESPN a bunch. Poker, gotta love Rounders.
Rounders.
Yeah.
Yes. Rounders is a great movie.
Yep.
John Malkovich is Teddy KGB.
Yep. It's scary stuff. That movie gave me the creeps. I was afraid to play poker for a little while afterwards.
Malkovich bitching about him checking all the time. Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a sport poker really is, but I think it's close. It's close enough. That's quite a list. All right, so let's see if we can narrow this down. The Mighty Ducks are definitely making an appearance, but I can't put all 3 on there. So I'm going to take episode 2, Mighty D2, as the representative of the trilogy.
Okay.
Mostly because of the second Bash brother from Chicago having a bigger role in that one. It was like, oh, this is the guy. I remember watching this movie when I was like in like 7th or 8th grade or 6th grade. I was probably like 9 years old when it came out, and I remember thinking, oh, I want to be him when I go to high school, just like giving people wedgies, throwing them over the boards. I already didn't like people back then. He gave me good ideas. But
you've learned well.
But I never got big and strong enough to do that, unfortunately. So it was God knew what he was doing, unfortunately, for me in this case. But I very much wanted to be Dean Portman from Mighty Ducks too. Or Russ, and like throwing up a knuckle puck at someone, just like whack him in the face with it or something. I don't know.
That makes sense.
I just loved that.
That makes sense, definitely.
Let's see. So that's going to represent the Mighty Ducks trilogy.
See, now I could do a list of hockey ones because there's Miracle. There were so many good.
Yeah, I thought about Miracle, but it's not going to make my final cut. I think next on the list would probably be $1 Million Baby. That was such a powerful movie.
It was.
Ali
There's
was
so
also
many
a good
good
movie.
boxing movies.
Yeah. Ali was a good movie.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna go with $1 Million Baby. I liked The Wrestler quite a bit. One of my favorite musical artists, Bruce Springsteen, provided the principal soundtrack for that. So that was good.
That was good.
Yep. So that's probably
That
gonna
was
make the
very
list. So that's 3. Let's see. I liked I did like Rounders.
Rounders is a great.
Yeah. No, it really is. I did like Rounders.
Edward Norton is just so lost in that movie.
Yeah, no, that was a great one.
Very well acted by everyone.
Mhm. No question about it. And I guess Miracle can make it as the 5th. It would either that. I mean, could like in true authenticity, if we're just saying my personal favorites, all 3 of the Mighty Duck movies would be on here
Right.
along with $1 Million Baby and Wrestler. And that would be the list. To give more of a representative balanced list, I'm gonna forego the other 2 Mighty Duck movies.
We've discussed your love of those before.
Yes, I just think they're great. It was the only time I cared about a hockey team was like the couple of years when the Anaheim Ducks actually wore the Mighty Duck uniforms from the movies, like in real life.
This year they wore a throwback version of it.
But that was like their standard jersey for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I used to play the NHL video games, and basically I would either play as them or I would play as the Red Wings because they were the only team I knew any of the players on. That was like the Steve Yzerman, Brendan Shanahan, Chris Chilios, that whole crew. And then I knew Mike Madonna, mostly because I remember him from Mighty Ducks, though. He made the cameo in the first one.
Yeah. One of the greatest American players to ever play.
Well, that was the other reason I remember him. It's like, oh, I can actually say that name. Oh, good. He just skip. Oh, that was fun. But I guess for 5, I'm going 1 is gonna be Mighty Ducks 2. 2 is gonna be $1 Million Baby. 3 will be The Wrestler. 4, I'm gonna go with Rounders. And 5, I'm gonna go with and let's go with Ali. Yep.
Okay. Very, very good choice.
Yeah, I'll go with Ali as my 5th. So there you have it.
I like a good boxing movie anyway. So
what would your top 5 sports movies, not baseball, football, or basketball, be?
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack. Okay.
One of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
All right.
Slapshot. A bit dated now, but still a lot of laughs. Miracle is on my list. What else did I have here? Pull up the old reading chart.
Miracle was a good one.
Miracle was very, very good. I did have the Mighty Ducks on there as well.
Great.
And I had Ali.
Okay. So Caddyshack, Ali,
all-time favorite athletes.
Yeah, he's one of the best. That's pretty cool.
I'm interested to see this George Foreman movie that is either out or coming out.
Yeah, that would be good. You know, it's interesting how certain sports lend themselves to certain secondary media. Like, for example, there's no sport that has more books about it written than baseball.
Yes.
It just, for whatever reason, baseball and long form books are made for each other.
That's another top 5 idea.
And it seems to me that that movies and boxing are made for each other.
Yes.
And it makes sense because movies thrive on drama, violence, and basically gore and guts. And boxing naturally has all of that.
True. Very, very true.
So that's pretty cool.
And a little hint, tomorrow we are going to tie it all together.
Tie it all together.
You'll see how.
There we go. All right. Well, good stuff. All right. Well, there you go. That's today's top 5. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come back. We got Jason Brady of the Smash coming up next. And then we'll do some basketball and news you can use the rest of the way. That's just on tap. It's the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
All righty, welcome back to the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave, and I'm joined now by Jason Brady and his father Scott of the Orange County Smash. What's going on, Jason? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me on this.
My pleasure. Thanks for joining us. First of all, congratulations. And I wanted to ask you, how long have you been playing baseball?
I have been playing baseball for a long time, since first grade, so about 6 years, probably.
Awesome. And what positions do you play for the Smash?
For Smash, I play outfield and a little bit of catcher.
Outfield and catcher. Very good. Do you have a preference between the two?
I really prefer catcher more than the outfield.
Just because you're involved in every play, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's my favorite position. I love it.
Awesome. That's cool. Do you hit lefty, righty? Like what do you do?
I'm a right-handed batter.
You throw righty as well?
Yes, I throw righty too.
All right, cool. Now with the catching, how much time do you spend like practicing that?
I don't really practice as much catching, and I normally just catch in the games because I'm not modified team. I don't catch as much.
I see. Okay, cool. So you spend more of your practice time working on hitting or outfielding?
Hitting and fielding, mostly hitting. I feel like it's a basic thing to get down, and I like hitting a lot.
Is hitting your favorite part about baseball?
Yes, it is my favorite part about baseball.
Yeah. What's your approach to hitting? Are you trying to hit the ball to a certain spot, go with the pitch? Like, how do you approach hitting?
anything close I'd like to swing at, and I'm trying to put every single ball into play as possible.
There you go. Going up there, taking cuts. I like it. How long have you been playing with the Smash now?
This is my first season with them.
Awesome. How do you like it so far?
It's awesome. I love it. I like that we're traveling away, like Ripken, and we're gonna go to Cooperstown. And I like that the coaches have confidence in me. They are nice and fair, and the team is a good fit for me. I like the players, and everyone gets along.
I'll tell you what, man, you got a future as a salesman for the Smash. You got it all right there.
Thank you.
What's been I'm assuming Ripken was probably your favorite place you've played since you've been with the Smash so far, like as far as a location?
It was my favorite place so far.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
loved it. Yeah.
When do you guys go to Cooperstown?
August. We're going in August, and I'm planning to do well there too.
Good man. Have you been to Cooperstown before, just as like a fan with your dad or anything, or no?
Yes, I've been to Cooperstown with my family, and we actually went to the Hall of Fame there.
That's cool. It's funny. I've never actually been to the Hall of Fame museum, but I've been to an induction ceremony. I actually went while Ken Griffey Jr. and Mike Piazza were getting inducted. Like that was pretty cool. I went with a friend.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Who's your favorite major league player?
Right now or of all time?
Oh, both.
Well, of all time, it's it's kind of a tie between Jeter and Judge.
Okay.
I like both of them.
Okay. That's fair. So I
And
guess Judge is obviously your favorite currently then.
Currently, yes.
Yeah.
I also have another favorite. He's not on the Yankees, but I know him because every year we go up to Cape Cod and we watch the Cape Cod Baseball League. And one of the players was a coach, and in the camp that I went to.
Ooh.
And I got an autograph from him on a ball from his college league. That for the Cape Cod League, they call college players up to play in that league.
Yep.
And I got his autograph there.
Awesome.
And then my mom got tickets to a Yankees game, and he actually signed a few autographs. We called him over. My mom was like texting him about a bunch of. He got drafted by the Angels, and he was the quickest to come up from last year's draft, the 2022 draft. His name is Zach Neto.
Zach
Neto. He's
Neto.
currently the starting shortstop of the Angels, and he is 22 years old, and he currently hit his first home run.
That's awesome. Wow, that's really cool. What's your favorite part about being with the Smash? Is it the travel? Is it different level of play? Is it the coaching? Like, I know you mentioned a bunch of stuff there. What's your favorite part about it?
My favorite part is, well, definitely the traveling is one of my favorite parts, and just getting in the game and playing. That's my favorite part. Hitting, especially. I really like hitting for this team.
Awesome. Really, really good stuff. All right. I just want to ask your dad one thing real quick.
I'm here.
Hey, so what's been do you have other kids who play travel as well? Or is Jason your first?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I have a daughter that plays travel softball, and she's a little younger, so she's just getting started. She's also in her first year with the team she's on, but I do have one other child playing travel ball right now. Yep.
Very cool. And if you were to give advice to a family that was putting a kid into a travel program for the first time, what would you say?
I would say just look for the right fit. Like it just works out. This team is a great fit for Jay. We like the players. We like the other families involved. We like how everybody gets along. We like the things they do outside of baseball. We've done bowling with them. We've done other things. So the coaches are awesome. These coaches are really, really good guys that spend a lot of time with these kids and really care about them.
That's awesome. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's also a very organized organization. The Smash is really organized. So, yeah, we hope to stay with this team for as long as possible.
That's good stuff. All right. Let me just ask Jason one more thing here.
Right, Jay.
Thank you. Hey Jason, before I let you go, what's been your favorite memory from playing baseball, whether it's with the Smash or elsewhere? I know you've only been here the first year, so what's been your favorite memory?
My favorite memory so far was in Ripken. One of the games, I won the Player of the Game award. I got a pin. They announced my name in the little booth where they announced the people to go up. It was awesome. I just loved it.
Awesome.
The moment.
That's cool. And that was just this past week then, right?
Yes, it was.
Yep.
This past weekend. I also really like playing with my friends. I have a friend on the team. His name's Steven.
Mm-hmm.
He's like one of my best friends at school. And I like that, having him on the team, because I know someone really well on the team and I'm friends with someone on the team.
That's cool. Well, cool, man. Well, congratulations. Enjoy the rest of your first year with the Smash and have fun in Cooperstown, okay?
Okay, thanks. And thank you for having me on this radio.
You're welcome. All right. Have a good one, guys. Thank you very much. That's Jason Brady. Good stuff. That was interesting, Rich, wasn't it?
He's auditioning for your job.
I'm telling you, man. I better step up my game.
I know. He's going for that seat.
Hey, you know what? You can have it. I'm ready. I could go retire.
He's ready to retire already.
I'll go hang out in Cooperstown and Rifkin. We can trade places. I'm sure he would love that. I don't know if the team would, though. I don't think I'd be hitting any home runs. Good stuff.
Just tell him you identify it as that age. And
that's it.
Take some swings.
That's right. I gotta take the beard off, get a clean cut. It'll fit right in. Oh man, good stuff. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We got NBA playoffs next. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Coffee Lovers Middletown is now officially home to the home run of our favorite beverage, Days Coffee. Days' patented blend contains approximately 85% less caffeine than other coffees, which makes it better for you, yet unlike decaf coffee, still gives you that great pickup and tastes amazing. Formulated by a retired cancer pathologist, Dr. Grant Lee, Days Coffee is fermented with a patented enzyme that until now required a complex and thus expensive sourcing and production process. With Dr. Lee's formulation, this enzyme's great health benefits can now be brought to your cup quicker, easier, and cheaper than ever before. Here's how you get a hold of this game-changing cup of joe. Go over to radioonlydeals.com and get a $4 gift certificate to Days Coffee for just $2. That's radioonlydeals.com to buy your single-use digital gift certificate for Days Coffee. Radioonlydeals.com. That's radioonlydeals.com. Enjoy the preferred coffee of the Gary Ayd Show. Enjoy Days Coffee.
Recreational professionals say kids should play esports. I am KO. Back in 1 minute with your sports question of the day.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-368-1307. 800-368-1307. 800-368-1307. That's 800-368-1307.
Research recently published in Recreational Sports Journal has shown participation in recreational esports leagues, whether they are for youth, high school, or college students, can enhance one's sense of belonging. Greg Durham, Director of Recreation and Wellness at Creighton University, told Athletic Business that esports offer a unique sense of inclusion that traditional sports don't offer. He said esports leagues give people opportunities to connect with peers all over the country and in some cases all over the world. Question for parents. Would you prefer your kids find camaraderie in traditional sports or esports?
I'll let you take a crack at this, Mr. Parent.
I think a lot of it depends on what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
This thing of parents forcing someone into something never ends up good. If your kids don't want to compete on a field, but they enjoy playing video games, let them. If they get good enough at it to go into competitions, encourage them. I see nothing wrong with it. I'm sure a lot of people do.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree. I mean, I think that the one concern I would have, it's not even so much with esports, it's more just overindulgence of electronics at a young age and a sedentary, overly digital lifestyle, I think is a danger. But it's not esports specifically. It's just, get out and move.
Yeah, but television can do that.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It doesn't mean it's just esports. It could be television. It could be video games. It could be a cell phone, a tablet, an iPad. It could be anything. Too much social media. But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's interesting because my parents, neither one of them had the slightest interest in sports of any kind. Well, I did, so,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, I certainly wasn't steered towards sports. Now, we happened to grow up at a time and on a particular block in Goshen that, happened to have a lot of kids all around the same age. And those other two families that constituted most of the, kids, were both big sports families. So I kind of fell into that.
Okay.
Yep. So,
Of course, then again, how many hours were spent playing games inside the house when you were that age?
yeah, I mean, not as many. I mean, I played video games a lot, but it was when it was dark, rainy out, or whatever,
Yeah.
when you couldn't really be outside. And that was never something my parents had to push me to do. I always preferred outside to video games, but I always liked both. So I agree with you 100%. I understand the interest in both because I had an interest in both. Now esports didn't exist back then, of course, but sports video games did, and I played every one of them. NHL, NBA, MLB, NFL, you name it. I played them all and a bunch of others. I had at one point at my highest, I think 5 systems simultaneously. I think I had Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Dreamcast, Sony PlayStation, the original, and Nintendo 64.
Still have a Dreamcast.
Do you really?
Never get rid of it.
Does it still work?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. That was one of my favorite systems.
Well, you know what the problem with the Dreamcast was? They were just CDs.
Right.
They were easy to copy.
Mm.
Once someone came up with the concept of the boot disc, which you put in first and could play your illegally gotten games.
That was the end of Dreamcast.
We probably have a book of over 100 copied Dreamcast games, almost every title they released.
Wow. King Pirate over here. I never knew I co-hosted with Blackbeard all these years. Look at this.
Necessity is the mother of invention, my friend.
Arg over here. Oh man. Wow, that's good stuff. That's really funny. That's really, really funny.
And then the really good ones were building the boot disc into the games.
Oh yes.
So you only needed one. And fortunately, I knew a lot of people with Dreamcasts.
Yeah, for me, it was a toss-up between Dreamcast and N64. I had about 2 or 3 games on each system that I loved playing. Like on Dreamcast, I loved NBA 2K, and I loved the I forget the name of it now, but the baseball game of the time, and also they had a boxing game that was a lot of fun.
They also had a wrestling game that was a blast.
Yes, they did. I had that one too.
You could create your own
Yes,
characters.
yes. I always create a big fat guy. I always create like basically Yokozuna. It's like, yeah, I was gonna go around sitting on people. It's my kind of time.
Oh yeah.
On N64, there were like 3 games I loved. There was Super Smash Brothers. There was Tank Wars, which was amazing. And then there was what was the third one? Oh, Star Wars a pod racing game that I loved. So, yeah, I was like that was probably the height of my video game playing too. Like when N64 came out, I was probably just about entering high school. It was either like 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. It was right around there, like early high school or just before high school. And Dreamcast came out a year or 2 later. And that's why I remember both of them fondly. That was probably the height of my video game playing.
Interesting.
Yes. And on Super Nintendo, there was Smash TV, which I loved too. So lots of good games. Donkey Kong, of course, was always fun.
Yes.
See, I always wanted to play as the grouchy old guy. I forget his name. The Donkey Kong's dad. I used to say he was just like walk around with a cane and just like growl at people. I was like, yeah, that's the guy I want to be.
It was good training for what you are now. See,
that's right, exactly.
See how that works?
Just whack people with a cane.
It's my goal.
Absolutely. Well, you're getting there. I mean, you see, you've made it this far. I think once you retire, you can just beat people up. I think that's the rule.
Just perfect my cane usage. And
That's right.
will be fine.
That's all we need.
Oh yeah,
that's good times. That's really
so. There
fun.
were playoff games last night.
Yeah. Believe it or not, there was some basketball. We should probably talk about that.
There were 2 NBA, 2 NHL games. Things are getting interesting. Things are getting tight.
Yeah. So
the Warriors delayed the inevitable.
I'll tell you what, they had a whole different makeup in that game, and Van Gundy was talking about it incessantly. We just buried Draymond Green yesterday. He just had probably the best game of his playoff career yesterday. Certainly the best scoring game I've ever seen him have.
He drank from the Al Horford fountain of youth. He really did. But the question is, can he do it again? I mean, he was exhausted.
He had to be. Yeah, he had to be.
You saw him on the sidelines, man. He was puffing for air. He was just.
Yeah.
I don't know if he does that again, especially on the road.
Yeah, probably not. Thankfully, it looks like Anthony Davis is gonna be okay. He took a shot to the face midway through the 4th quarter or so.
Yeah, and he had to get wheelchaired off. How does this work? I'm not understanding.
I think he was dizzy. I know they were concerned about a possible concussion with him.
He tested for no concussion,
Correct.
Which is good.
Yeah, and the last
if he went into concussion protocol,
he wouldn't have played. Right. So the good news is no concussion, and unless there's a setback, an unforeseen setback, Davis will be playing in Game 6, and I think the Lakers will probably take the series then. But they definitely, the Warriors, that is, definitely found a path forward. But to your point, it's a path that you wonder, do they have enough to execute it 3 times in a row?
And I don't think they do.
Probably not. Now, the other game, the Knicks game, the Heat ended up playing this one real close most of the way, but the trio of Brunson, Barrett, and Randall ultimately was enough to stave them off. All 3 of them had excellent games. Randall was very efficient, 7 of 13, 4 of 7 from 3, had 24 points.
Probably his best game offensively.
Yes, Barrett continues to play very well, but the story is Jalen Brunson, who played all 48 minutes, was 12 of 22, so also very efficient, had his best game of the series, 38 points. Interestingly enough here, and this is what I wanted your take on. We know Brunson played all 48, but so did Quentin Grimes, a guy who just a few games ago was basically out of the rotation. Now he plays the whole game. Your thoughts behind that?
I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm like, what did Josh Hart do? I mean, what?
Well, see, I was trying to figure this out earlier. Actually, I opened the show with this, and
Grimes is a good defender.
That's the only theory, is because Butler had probably his worst game of this series. Now, he was 5 of 12. He didn't shoot terribly, but he was really
Oh, but he had 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks.
right. But you held him to 19 points, and more importantly, you only allowed him to get off 12 shots. Now, that could have been part by his own game, but I think Quentin Grimes, the way he was playing Butler, he did a lot of denial. And I think my theory is Thibodeau was really liking that and was probably afraid to take him out and have Butler figure it out and get hot, and then he wouldn't be able to put the lid back on. So I think he left Grimes in for that reason. That's the only thing I can think of.
I think Butler will figure it out.
Oh, I'm not saying he won't, but he didn't in this game. I mean,
Duncan Robinson had a game.
Yep, he did.
It was his best game of the series.
Yep, 6 of 13.
Why he's not getting more minutes, I don't understand.
He's starting to creep up. He had 22 minutes in this game. Caleb Martin had 28.
It was 17 points in 22 minutes.
Pretty good. Yeah, well, he made 5 threes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Heat play a lot of guys on their bench. Well, more than the Knicks. Hartenstein's the only one who played meaningful minutes off the Knicks bench. Toppin played 12 minutes. Hartenstein with 22. But I mean,
Hartenstein made some plays.
Why would you go with more of your bench if you're Thibodeau right now? I mean, you got all your points basically from 3 guys. Essentially,
That's one reason to go with your bench.
but I mean, Hart, I could see.
Do all 3 guys hit every night together?
Not usually.
No. That's why. I think he's crazy for not giving Derrick Rose something.
Yeah, I've been surprised he hasn't touched the court in a very, very long time.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I just don't.
So, what do we got tonight?
We have games tonight. We have game 6 of the Boston Philly.
Mm-hmm.
In Philadelphia. The Sixers can wrap it up. Denver is at Phoenix for game 6. No DeAndre Ayton. He has a rib contusion.
That sounds painful.
Yeah, I would think so.
What do you think's a bigger injury for the Suns, Ayton or Paul?
Ayton.
Yeah, I agree.
They've played pretty well without Chris Paul.
Helps to have Devin Booker playing like Jordan or Kobe or something.
Yeah, but you notice they had neither of them two have done it on the road.
That's very true.
And that's the great equalizer.
You think Denver finishes it off?
I don't know. Durant and Booker just light it up in Phoenix.
Yeah, they really do. But you know, with that said, all of the games in Phoenix have been pretty close. Like they've only won
between Booker and Durant. They've had like at least 80 points between them.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm saying is because the games have been somewhat close, I wonder if the Nuggets can win a game even when those two do that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting at. I
I don't
think
know, but I was going to bring this up in news you can use, but Andy Bailey of Bleacher Report, even before the news broke about Ayton being out for the game tonight, said that the Suns would be better giving off the majority of 18 minutes to Jack Landale anyway.
Mm.
Because Phoenix was minus 59 and Ayton's 149 minutes in the series, but plus 27 in Landale's 74. I can't figure it out. Can you figure out the conundrum that is DeAndre Ayton?
I think he's just a guy who doesn't really like basketball. He happens to be good at it. He's professional enough that he gives a adequate effort every night. He's professional enough that he's generally available. This is not a guy. That's why I give him the benefit of the doubt with this rib contusion. This is not a guy who misses a lot of time. For all his faults, he's generally available. And but I think because he doesn't really love basketball, he doesn't really work at his game, because working at your game takes real work. And to do real work, you have to really want it. And I think he's perfectly content to just be good and have a career and make a lot of money. That's what I think.
All right. That sounds good. I mean, that's better than anything I could have come up with.
I think he's just happy to be a good NBA player. He's going to have a 15-year career. He's going to have 2 or 3 big contracts, and he's going to be a starter most of the time, and a good one. And that's just what he's going to be. He's like a better version of like Andre Drummond. Like he fits the world better right now, I should say.
Okay. I like Andre Drummond.
I do too. But he's been kind of cast off, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Denver closes it out this upcoming game. I really do.
I have a feeling too, although, I mean, they might be shorthanded as well. There's a non-COVID illness that's going through this team.
Mm.
It affected their shoot around. That was cut short. Denver's hopeful that Jamal Murray, who's been pretty sick the last day and a half, will be able to suit up. A handful of players, Malone said, are the ones who have been affected.
Mm. Interesting. All right. Well,
and the Suns also said that Landry Shamet's going to enter the starting lineup.
I'm sure the Nuggets are happy to hear that.
Is that in place of Ayton? Or is that in place of Cameron Payne?
Well, if it was in place of Ayton, what would their lineup look like then?
A lot of guards. Shamet, Payne.
Is Durant your center in that lineup? Right? I mean, because who else would it be? You Shamet, Payne, Booker,
Durant, and
who's their fifth? Is it what's that guy's name? Big muscular guy. That football Wainwright, is it?
That might be their starting lineup. I've got to think it's for Payne, but I don't think I would do that because Shamet's been one of the few people doing anything off their bench.
Mm. Yeah, this team is dreadfully shallow right now. I mean, they're shallow even when they're whole. With 2 of their starters out, they're like, I mean, that would decimate anybody. But they're so lacking depth to begin with, even when whole, that it exacerbates with them.
And that's why I said whoever won the series between the Lakers and the Warriors, either I think would beat the Suns.
Yes, I don't think the Suns will get that chance. I think the Nuggets will finish them off before they get there.
I do too.
The Nuggets are just better. Now, this illness might be a stroke of luck for Phoenix, but I got to tell you, as long as Jokic is okay, I think they have a shot. That guy is just such a machine.
They need Murray.
Yeah, they do. But I like that team. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll do news you can use to wrap it up. The Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines, plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you. With the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
All righty, it's time for some news we can use. What are we using today, Rich?
What are we using today? We got 2 playoff games tonight in the NHL, 2 game 5s. Actually, the New Jersey Devils, or the Devils of New Jersey, as I like to say, are in Carolina to take on the Hurricanes. Carolina leads that series 3 games to 1. I thought you'd like that. The late game, Seattle is in Dallas. The Kraken are in Dallas taking on the Stars. It's a pivotal game 5 because that series is tied up at 2. Both of these games are on TNT. The 2 NBA playoff games will be on ESPN.
Okay.
The NFL schedule release will be on ESPN too, but we know 3/4 of it.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a big part of tomorrow's show. We're going to go through the Giants and Jets schedule and the Bills probably as well, kind of extensively, because that drops officially today at 8 o'clock. So we'll talk about that on tomorrow's program.
The first Monday night game is, I heard, the Bills at the Jets. It's on 9/11, so they were thinking Jets-Giants, and I'm glad they didn't, because let's at least have one team there that plays in New York State.
I'll tell you what, the matchup of Allen and Rodgers is interesting too. So if that's
It is. Oh, it always is.
Yeah, so that's always good.
It always is. It's a classic.
Daniel Jones doesn't exactly stack up in that conversation.
True, but if you really wanted to do something 9/11, I would have thought Jets-Giants. But
yeah, well,
because they are on the schedule against each other this year, it would have been good. But like I said, represent the state too.
Yeah, so
it is New York.
Yep. All right. So we got that.
Well, the Mets did it again today. Mets are going to Met, Gary. You're just going to have to get used to it. 5-0 to the Reds.
They lose the series to the Reds. They only won the middle game with Verlander pitching. By the way, Verlander pitched a gem yesterday.
He did. 7 solid innings.
Yeah, that was
2
good.
runs, 7 Ks. It's a very good game.
But then the Mets netted.
They're 23rd in ERA right now. That was before today with a 4.82. They've given up 52 home runs and 138 walks.
Oof.
Each of these numbers are 3rd in baseball. Scherzer's been abysmal. His ERA is 5.56.
Oh, he's terrible.
He was scratched from his start Tuesday due to a neck strain. He's got right scapula discomfort. Pitching's going to be an issue. I mean, Carlos Carrasco's, Jose Quintana are on the injured list.
Oh, they're totally inept in
And
the
look at the
starting
guys
line.
who've taken their place. David Peterson, Taylor McGill, Joey Lucchesi. Their ERAs are all above 4.5.
McGill's been the best of the bunch.
And he's at 4.30. I'm sorry.
What a mess. Not a happy Met fan. I mean, but with all those injuries, like it's almost impossible that this wouldn't be the outcome. But that's why you want to see the lineup start hitting a little bit better, because the lineup is relatively healthy. They're just not producing, and the pitching is decimated. You just need to bash your way through it for a little while.
Well, they've got to look at three pitchers: Verlander, Senga, who's played pretty well, pitched pretty well, and bullpen get Robertson. They're going to have to hang on those three.
Yeah. Yep. It's true. And then you need their lineup to get in gear.
I mean, the lack of power was an issue in 2022, but it was less magnified because Alonso.
Right.
This year, I mean, Alonso's the only Met who's got more than 6 home runs. They're leaving almost 4 runners in scoring position per game as 9 innings. Canna, Marte, Lindor all hitting below 225. That's unacceptable.
Yep.
These are regulars in the lineup. Alvarez is hitting a little better. And Nimmo and McNeil are hitting okay. Alonso's only hitting 237, but he's got a lot of RBI. He's holding up his end. But everything that could go wrong for this team, Gary, has.
Yes.
It just has. Now they're 1-7 in their past 8 games and 3-13 in their last 16. They have 2 wins in May. This lineup and pitching staff are too talented, though, not to turn things around.
They eventually will, and it's mostly the lineup that gives me that confidence. At some point, McNeil's going to hit better. He's not a 280 hitter. He's like a 320 hitter. At some point, even though I don't think much of him, Francisco Lindor is a little better than this. You know,
I know he's not your favorite,
but he's better than, was he hitting 215 or something? He's better than that. 220 or whatever. So he'll get it. Like, so I have some confidence in the lineup. I have no confidence whatsoever until they're healthy that this pitching staff, other than the guys you just mentioned, can do anything. The guy that
Scherzer has to turn it around.
That's what I was just gonna say. He's the only guy that, but you know, I've heard people say this, and you know, maybe they're right. You know, Father Time gets everyone at some point. Maybe you just hit him like a ton of bricks all at once.
Verlander's got Father Time on hold.
Yeah, well, Verlander, yes, that's true.
It's another one of those cyborgs. A couple of baseball records yesterday. Kenley Jansen of the Red Sox. Congrats, man. 400 career saves.
There's
only a handful of guys that have done it.
Yep.
Good for him. Shohei Ohtani in his game the other night got his 502nd career strikeout. He passed Babe Ruth.
Wow.
And Ohtani just amazes people, and Trout is quietly just doing everything one guy can do. But somebody had a great tweet yesterday, and I'm going to read it verbatim because it's perfect. Every time I see an Angels highlight, it's like, quote, Mike Trout hit 3 home runs and raised his average to 528, while Shohei Ohtani did something that hasn't been done since Tungsten Arm O'Doyle of the 1921 Akron Groomsmen. as the Tigers defeated the Angels 8-3.
Oh, isn't that the truth? Tungsten arm, what?
Tungsten Arm O'Doyle of the 1921 Akron.
Nah, that's not
Brooms-
1921. That's like 1897, a name like that. 1900 at the
man.
latest. He was Ty Cobb's roommate when he first got to Detroit. That guy. Name like that.
This guy might have done some research.
Or he made it up.
One of the reasons, Anthony Rendon, he's playing okay.
Yep.
But it's pretty much a topic in LA. Where did his power go? And a reporter asked him, and Rendon said, "I'm not Tony Four Bags," whatever that means.
Only 4 bags.
But I mean, he's never. Everybody thinks he's going to hit a lot of home runs. He averaged 22 a season with the Nationals. It's been 4 years.
The Nationals.
He's hit 1 so far this year. I think people are asking a little too much, and I don't think you need to look for 20 home run seasons from him anymore. His average isn't bad.
Come on.
Driving in the occasional run here and there, he plays a great defensive third base.
Come on,
Be
Tony
happy with
Four
it.
Bags. Let's go. That's good stuff.
Von Miller could miss significant time of the 2023 season
Ugh.
because of the delayed surgery, because the tests they determined showed the ACL tear, and he underwent surgery in December. And his age. Joe Buscaglia, the Athletic, very well-informed NFL guy,
Yep.
says that Buffalo could place Miller on the PUP list to begin the season. I don't think it's a bad idea if you're thinking long-term. I'd rather have him healthy for a playoff push.
Yep. Absolutely.
And not worry about it now, but he's still impactful.
Yep.
From weeks 1 to 10, when he played, opponents had a 75.7 QB rating against the Bills. When he was out, the rating went up to about 82, and touchdowns to interceptions reversed. Still an impactful player. I would rather have him playing in late November, December, and January.
No question. All right. Well, there we go. Well, good.
You got time for one more?
Let's do it.
Quick one. Florida Panthers head coach Paul Maurice was messing with the Toronto media last night. They were taking questions. He looked annoyed, and then he told them, "Yeah, just keep firing questions at me." And he answered like a few of them with F-bombs, and then he laughed and he told people, "I'm not messing with you. We lost a game. It's fine. Happens in the playoffs to everyone. We're up 3-1. We get to play the next one, and we're good with that. Relax, for F's sake."
All right. There you go.
Maurice is great. The in-game interviews with coaches, a lot of coaches act very annoyed. You get a lot of Popovich, Phil Jackson with a lot of these coaches. Maurice treats it like you're having a beer with him. And he's a great interview.
And I'm gonna throw one out here real quick. As a matter of fact, looks like Adidas has finally figured out a solution for its Kanye West. I'm not calling him his new name. Inventory. Apparently, they're gonna sell it and then donate the proceeds. No doubt to like some probably communist, something or other, because that's pretty much why they're upset at Kanye for basically speaking about being free to speak. So, hey, good corporate posturing there by Adidas, but that is what they're doing. And Josh Harris is still looking to buy the Washington Redskins. The deal is complicated, but almost done. Both these stories via Front Office Sports.
They've been saying that this has been almost done for months now.
Well, hey.
When's it going to get done?
Almost. Horseshoes and hand grenades, baby. Horseshoes and hand grenades. There we go.
And don't forget drive-in movies.
That's right. I'll drive in movies too. All right. Well, that does it for us. We'll be back tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. NFL schedule officially released later today. So we'll talk about it tomorrow. Of course, we'll have some NBA as well. A lot to get to then. Enjoy the evening. We'll see you then. The Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.